Hi everybody, this is Gigi from Kauai Community College. In this video, I will be showing you how to do a subtraction problem using a pretty cool trick. Okay, so here it is. Suppose you are in base, say 8. Okay, so if you are in base 8, the numerals that you will be using are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then after 7, you will have a full groups of 7, right? And so a full group of 7 is going to move to the next place value, right? So that's how things work in base 8. So, let's say if you have this subtraction problem, 3, 0, 0 in base 8 minus, let's say minus a 3-digit number, 1, 6, 5 in base 8. Okay, equals what in base 8? Okay, now, if you think about having to line these up vertically and subtract using the place value concept, we are going to have to really regroup all the way from the 3, right? So that is going to be a little bit harder to do than if we would implement this one trick right here. And what is the trick? Okay, so the trick is if we think about subtraction even in base 10. So I'm going to take you back to base 10 so that you can think about it a little bit better. If you have, say, 300 minus 165, okay, then you have to like really borrow from the 3 there, right? Now that's a very long way. The concept of subtraction, however, is the distance between two numbers. So when you are subtracting 165 from 300, we are saying here is 165, here is 300. Okay, the distance between them is your answer, is your result. Okay, of the answer of this problem. Whatever the answer is, that is represented in this picture right there. Okay, now instead of looking at it using this right here, we are saying, hey, the distance, as long as it stays the same, like I don't change the length of it, but I take this part right here and move it along the number line, okay? I could move it back as many units as I like, as long as I move it the same way, both ends, right? The same distance, both ends. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move it back just 1 unit. Move it back just 1 unit, meaning to subtract 1. Keep that distance the same. Okay, if you move it back 1 unit, what is the number before 300 when you're counting? That's right, 299. What is the number before 165? That is 164. And as you can see, the distance from the yellow and the distance from the red is the same. So that is also the same answer to your problem, right? So instead of thinking 300 minus 165, we can now think of it as 299 minus 164. Then we don't need to go and regroup anymore. 9 minus 4 is 5. 9 minus 6 is 3. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And that is your answer, right? So the concept here is subtraction. The result is the distance. And as long as I keep my distance the same, I can move it along the number line back and forth. Here, I went backward 1 to get a really nice number. Why did I go backward once? Because the highest numeral that you could write in base 10 is 9, right? And 9 would be the most that you could have in terms of how many dots there are if you think about your place value chart. So if I had 9, I can always take away pretty much anything below there. So if we were to go back to our problem here, okay, this right here said 300, and we are in base 8. Okay, we are in base 8. Keep in mind that we are in base 8, and that is a big deal. What's the big deal with base 8? What is the last numeral that you could write before you move up to the next place value, resulting in 0 right here? 7, right? So if I was to slide back 1 unit, what do I have? Instead of 300, I would have 277. And instead of 165, I'll have 164. Okay? The 7, let's see if you understood that concept there. Where did 7 come from? Right before 300, I must have counted 277, because if I had one more right here, that's going to make a full group and move up. And then that's going to make it a full group and move up. So then I would have 300 if I had one more. So when I step backward, I would have 277. Okay, now we can do the subtraction problem now because there's no regrouping needed. 7 minus 4 is 3. 7 minus 6 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1 in base 8. And that is a really nifty trick for subtraction when you have a bunch of zeros. Just move back 1 and then you can get the highest number that you could have written, the highest numeral you could have written in whatever base that you're in. So in base 8, the highest numeral you could have written is 7. Alright, so to answer our question, 300 in base 8 minus 165 in base 8 is 113 in base 8.